Well done, Baku. Hey, what's going on, guys? Over here, and welcome to your top 5 moments for the 2018 Azerbaijan Grand Prix, round number 4 of this 2018 Formula 1 season, and what a Grand Prix that was. Yet again, for the second time in a row, I don't think even 5 moments are enough to really recap what went on in what was another sensational Azerbaijan Grand Prix. I thought 2017, we all thought 2017 was crazy. 2018, I think, has topped it, because there was, like I said, too many things to talk about. Let's get into it. The top 5 moments kind of collated from you guys tweeting me straight after the race. I tweeted out what your top moments were. A lot of different ones, actually, but a lot of similar ones, obviously. The big ones that we'll get into. But here are your top 5 as kind of collated from you guys on Twitter. So coming in at number 5 is going to be Romain Grosjean spinning it under the safety car and crashing it into the barrier. And then his engineer trying to shift the blame onto Ericsson hitting him, when clearly on the replays, Ericsson is nowhere near Grosjean. And yet on the radio, when Grosjean went, "What on earth happened?" By the way, Roman, you spun it under the safety car like an absolute numpty. His engineer just went, "Yeah, I think Ericsson hit us, to be honest." What? Hello? He was nowhere near Grosjean on circuit. I tweeted out at the time, but clearly breaking news at Azerbaijan Grand Prix, Marcus Ericsson has developed some sort of cloaking device and hit Romain Grosjean out there, because I don't know on what universe he was on to think Ericsson was anywhere near him to hit him. So, yeah, a real big fluff from Grosjean. He had already had a big mistake yesterday on Saturday in qualifying after locking up and then, breaking his gearbox, essentially trying to reverse in qualifying. Started from the back. He was actually doing really well. He was back in the points, and then under the safety car, trying to heat up his tyres, he spins it into the wall. Real big facepalm moment for him and the team as a whole. Just kind of a cringe moment, I guess. Number 4 is going to be lap 1 antics involving Kimi Räikkönen, Esteban Ocon, Fernando Alonso, and the Williams. I can't actually remember which one it was in the end. I think it might have been Sorokin. But Kimi and Ocon coming towards. Kimi dives down the inside, but Ocon really should have given him a bit more space, in my opinion. I think there was enough of Kimi's car alongside Ocon to give him the room, but quite dramatically, Ocon got spun into the barrier at quite a high rate, actually, when you watch back the replay there. And when we saw it live, it kind of cut straight to Ocon, just being flown across, got a bit of airtime straight into the barrier. So that was quite dramatic. And then right in the background, you could see sparks going away as there was a bit of contact between Alonso, the Williams, I think, of Sorokin, and then also Carlos Sainz, who narrowly got away without any damage, actually. But Alonso, unfortunately, being basically squeezed off, given no room, and then he had to drive it back in 2 wheels, basically. He started his 2-wheel career early. Somehow managed to wiggle that car back through. Definitely looked like a handful trying to drive that car with 2 wheels. Not only 2 wheels, but the 2 wheels were on one side of the car, because his entire right side of the car was completely taken out of the equation. So somehow managed to do that. Damaged floor, we heard from the McLaren radio, and then actually pulled it through to the end of that Grand Prix, survived that to actually come back into the points. So fair play to Alonso for dragging that car back into the points after what looked like a pretty dismal start. Obviously, he was very angry at the start, but that was a very hectic lap 1, because the camera shot also did it a fantastic kind of, it made the drama a lot bigger, because the camera was focused on Vettel and the 2 Mercedes, of course, as they entered what was towards the end of sector 1, and just in the background you saw the sparks flying from Sainz, from the Williams and Alonso. So that was a pretty crazy lap 1. As a whole, talking about the Grand Prix, kind of settled down after the initial kind of craziness of the opening few laps after that first safety car. Kind of calmed down until we got to the madness that then ensued. Number 3 is going to be Sebastian Vettel on the safety car restart, trying to mimic Nico Rosberg from Russia in 2015 almost. He's obviously going for the lead of the Grand Prix. Under the safety car, Bottas able to be gifted the lead, because just like what happened almost with Australia, but also China more so, Vettel kind of getting a little bit unlucky with the safety car timing, where he was on track, and the fact that also Ferrari pulled him in earlier than Bottas did. Mercedes just keeping Bottas out, allowed him to get ahead, and then obviously on the safety car restart, Vettel wanting to try and get the jump. Hamilton actually had a really good toe on Vettel, so I think Vettel was also trying to just get away from Hamilton a little bit, and he just cooked it right in. Really big moment in the Grand Prix, because that was effectively Vettel then down to P4, got so close to hitting the barrier, had to let Kimi through, and that was a big point for the championship, obviously, with only a couple of laps to go then. That alone would have been big enough as an ending to the Grand Prix, but then little did we know what was about to happen, because number 2 moment in this race is going to be Valtteri Bottas then tragically out of this Grand Prix. Like, he was in the lead. Yes, he got a little bit lucky of him getting to the lead, but it was also Mercedes keeping him out there, maybe hoping for a safety car. Fair play. He was in the lead, did the job calmly, under braking to turn one. And then it was bitterly taken away from him. He drives over what looked like a bit of metal. So that brought into, questions about the marshalling and the debris cleanup. Niki Lauda, after the race, kind of questioning that, and rightly so, that debris shouldn't have been there. But yeah, what a tragedy that was. Bottas going over that debris. At the time on the live feed, it didn't quite... I don't think they caught the moment where Bottas went over that debris. So on the live feed, when we were watching it live, it just kind of looked randomly like Bottas got very, very unlucky with a random puncture, and it was out of the Grand Prix on what should have been a race win. Even Hamilton, who went on to win that Grand Prix, said it should have been Valtteri up there on the top step of the podium. But then on the replays, obviously, we saw what happened, him running over that metal. Really, really unfortunate for the Finn, because... yeah, again, kind of Valtteri kind of taken out the race win. And then coming at number one, I'm pretty sure this will be everyone's number one moment of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, because it's just such a big moment for the race, and actually really is the reason why so many others lucked into it. Obviously, yes, the safety cars played into it, but obviously the Red Bull collision between Max Verstappen and Daniel Ricciardo, they had already come to walls pretty close in the race beforehand. Remember turn 2, Verstappen defending very, very harshly down the inside, and to be fair to him, made it work. And Ricciardo trying to squeeze him into the apex in turn 2. So it was already getting very, very frosty, and we'd already had reports of Newey looking over at Christian Horner on the pit wall. But then later on the Grand Prix, Ricciardo has the slipstream on Verstappen. A little bit of a weird moment, because Verstappen moved a few times as they went to the brake zone, but then Ricciardo looked like he was going to fake to the left, go to the right, to the outside for turn 1, but then last minute pulled it back to try and make the move back to the inside. And at the speeds they're going down that main straight, which I've said in many videos in the past, it's like a motorway basically down that back straight and onto the pit straight at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And bang, Ricciardo straight to the back of Verstappen, and both out the Grand Prix. And kind of, very much like a Turkey 2010 situation. The pot kind of just overboiled for Red Bull today, and it was kind of brewing the entire race almost. It is kind of like inevitable, I think, with the way Verstappen and Ricciardo were fighting each other so hard. The way Verstappen was not wanting to let Ricciardo go and release him in that Grand Prix, because all race long it looked like Ricciardo had the more comfortable race car under him. But that was such a big moment, because that was really, for me, I think, the catalyst. Like I said, yes, there were other safety cars, the instance with Vettel, Bottas at the Grand Prix that gifted positions here and there, but I think that was the big thing that trickled around the domino effect to allow the notable mentions that, in this Grand Prix, just like China, there were too many moments to make into the top 5, so I've got to say some notable moments. Charles Leclerc, P6 in the Sauber Alfa Romeo, absolutely sensational. It's his rookie debut season, and he's gotten P6 in the Sauber Alfa Romeo. Great strategy by the team, and then great drive. He looked calm out there, composed. He said it before that he's not driven with the same calmness he had in F2, and that's exactly what he had today. Obviously, the place where he dominated in F2 this time last year, but, looked calm, brought it home for P6. Carlos Sainz, P5, great stuff for him. We've said it so many times on the podcast, on the Pit Lane podcast that we do on this channel, that Sainz just hasn't looked comfortable in that Renault, and he's needed to step up. Yes, Hülkenberg got unlucky. That's another notable moment. Really, really unlucky for Hülkenberg to get a puncher early on in that Grand Prix, because both Renaults, I said it on Twitter, but both Works Renaults attacking the Red Bull cars and looking faster than the Red Bull cars was basically my drug earlier on in the Grand Prix, because it was fantastic seeing in tandem both Renaults pulling out on the right-hand side as the camera pan towards turn 1 and trying to overtake the Red Bull cars. Absolutely awesome stuff, but unfortunately for Hülkenberg, but Sainz stepping up, getting that P5, and then obviously Sergio Perez, P3, the podium for Force India. Perez has been known to get these really crazy podiums when, things hit the fan, and here you go, Perez again on the podium along with Hamilton, and obviously pretty crazy for Force India, because that's a big deal, with how bad the Force India car was at Australia. And also, to be fair to him, Brendan Hartley as well, getting his first points for Toro Rosso in P10. But I really want to make this video top 10, but I want to keep it consistent with top 5 moments. But that Grand Prix, man, well done, Baku. Just simply put, well done, Baku. Like, let me know what your guys' favorite moments were in that Grand Prix. You know, you guys know me if you've been following me for a while. I'm a big Marvel fan. Infinity War just came out earlier in the week. Seeing that emotional roller coaster of a film, and then having the Azerbaijan Grand Prix a couple of days after, like, it's just a double emotional hit. I am shook. I need to lie down after this video. But yeah, such a crazy Grand Prix, so many moments. So I want to know your guys' thoughts on any of those top 5 moments or any other moments that you want to bring up in that Grand Prix. What did you make of number 1, the Red Bull collision? I'm going to stay out of it for now. I'm going to keep my opinions about that crash till the podcast that we're going to come out later in the week. So do get subscribed if you're new around here to this channel for the podcast to review the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in depth. But let me know right now in the comments below what you guys thought. Was it Ricciardo or Verstappen's fault, or both kind of equal? Let me know in the comments below. And also about everything, you know, like I said, Leclerc, Sainz, Vettel out in the Grand Prix, Bottas out in the Grand Prix, Grosjean out in the Grand Prix, lap 1. I'm speechless. It's hard to describe that Grand Prix. Honestly, it's hard to make the video because it's just insane. Like at the beginning of this Grand Prix, every time people were being interviewed about what their chances were for this race, they were saying anything can happen at Baku, anything can happen at Baku, and it's just true. It's like ever since the 2017 regulations came in, the higher downforce cars, this track has just become insanely entertaining for just collisions, and it just seems like the drivers just go for it way more than other circuits, because obviously the speed they can gain down that main straight, and then also the rest of the lap is just a bit crazy in terms of the 90 degree turns, the way the track just kind of invites a bit of a lunge because of those 90-degree turns. Yeah, insane. So, guys, if you did enjoy this video, hit that like button. As I said, let me know in the comments below what you thought of any of those top 5 moments. If you are new around here, do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content. As I said, there will be a podcast to review the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in more depth later on in this week. And also later today, we should have a video on the channel going through the first F1 fantasy points. I know I did horribly. We'll see how some of you guys did in my league, so do get subscribed for that, and stick around for that video later today. But yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed the rest of your day. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.